Thanks if you are joining me today. Let's make a start, everyone. So lie on down onto your back if you're not already there. I'm just going to reposition myself so you can still kind of see me in the camera. And as you're starting to lie down, just sense how your back feels there. Some of you might need your knees bent. Some of you might want your legs straight. Just let your back sink into the floor. Maybe move your head around a little bit. And then as you allow your body weight to sink into the floor, tune into the feeling of your breath. So you stay lying down. I'm just going to sit up a bit so you can hear my voice better because I don't have a microphone on. So stay lying on your back and feel the breath coming in and out of your nostrils. And really tune into the movement of your lungs and your ribs as you breathe. You might even like to put your hands around your belly or your ribs and just sense that fluid movement every time you breathe in and out. The rise and fall of your breath. So just a couple more breaths here. Letting your body just take a little bit of time out as we invite your awareness into following the subtleties of your breath flow. Can you let a little bit more of the weight of your head sink heavier into the floor? Your shoulders relax. Nice work. Okay, you can keep your eyes closed if you want. And just stay lying down on your back. We're going to today do a little bit of focus around your psoas, the front of your hips, even down to the front of your legs. So this part of our body that often becomes a bit short and tight, especially if we sit a lot or even a little bit inactive. So some of it will be about activating the fronts of the hips and some of it will be stretching. Let's have our knees bent, feet on the floor. Just going to go a little bit more side on so I can see the camera. And I want you to play with tilting your pelvis. So squish your low back into the floor, feel the belly button come down. And then come back into neutral and do the opposite. Tilt your pelvis the other way. Tailbone down and arch the back. And do that a few more times. Let's exhale as you squish the back into the floor. And inhale as you roll through. Good way, keep that going. A couple more. Exhale one way and inhale the other. Just feeling into the movement of the lower part of the spine, around your hips, because we're going to use that in a couple of different poses in class today. So if you can now come into neutral, which will be somewhere between the tuck and the tilt, with a little bit of core activation to hold that. So you, depending on the shape of your back, you might still have a little gap here. And then lighten up your feet, and we'll start to work a little bit more with your core. So slowly bringing your right foot now in towards your chest. And do that a couple more times on that same leg. So as you're lifting and lowering the right leg, keep the left leg pretty light on the floor. And get a good sense of wrap right around your middle. So as we move in the right leg, you're activating through the front of the hip. You can add a little bit more activation by actively pushing the arm against the leg while you do that. And we'll do one more on this leg. So hold with the right leg in, push the hand against it a little bit. Keep that same position of your pelvis, and then lighten up the left foot even more. So you're barely feeling it on the floor. Keep pushing the right leg into your hand, and then try and take 2 good full breaths there while you hold that, breathing in and breathing out. One more nice big breath. And then really gentle as you let that go, put the leg down and straighten out that right leg for a moment. Feel that openness in the hip, and let's do the other side. So knees bent, feet on the floor, a little further away from your bottom than we normally in a bridge. And off you go with activating the left hip, leg coming in, leg going back. So try to do that with the neutral pelvis held. Good wrap around effect around your middle. sense of belly button to spine. Check in that you can still breathe well as you do that. And even though you feel a bit of movement in your ribs as you breathe, watch if your ribs feel like they're poking up to the ceiling, if you're arching the upper back. Just try and stay quite heavy in the upper back, light in the foot, and let's add that hand press against the leg, so left hand presses against the leg, and we'll hold the next one. So pulling the leg in, pressing the hand against it, strong through your middle, and then lighten up the right foot even more. Should make it a little bit harder to hold through the middle, so just do your best there to keep breathing well, pushing the leg and hand against each other, lighten the bottom foot, and then slowly let it go. Good work. Straighten out both legs. Nice little bit of warmth through your hips there. Take your arms overhead, big breath in. Exhale, arms down by your side, and let's move into bridge pose. So feet on the floor now, a bit closer to your bottom. Fold your shoulder blades underneath. Get your back sorted. And just gently hover your bottom off the floor to begin with, so don't go right up into bridge. I'm just going to turn a little bit further slider on, okay, so you can see a bit better there. That looks better, doesn't it? Okay, I'll move my arm out of the way as well. So you're doing the little hover. So this time we are pushing the feet down. The last exercise we were light on the feet. You definitely need them to bridge, don't you? So come up a little bit more, and a little bit more, and just feel where is about the top of your bridge right now. I'm still a little bit tight across my hips today, so that's about as far as I want to go right now, or we might warm into it later on in the class. Okay, so rolling down your spine again. So if that was the top of your bridge, try and feel where halfway would be, and come up just to halfway now. And then go all the way up, go down halfway, and all the way down. Good work. Do that one more time. Push into the feet. Strong through the back of the body. Come all the way up. Good work. Halfway down. And all the way down. And stay on the bottom now and do some pelvic tilt and tuck again. So arch the back in one direction and then squish the low back into the floor. Do that a couple more times. So really nice controlled movement from your deeper core muscles here to move the pelvis to and fro, and then come back into the middle. Okay, let's try that at halfway. So come up a bit, whatever your halfway is, and see if you can tuck and tilt your pelvis in this position. Keeping the knees still about the same distance apart, thighs parallel. Tuck and tilt your pelvis, making sure you're not getting any discomfort in your back, and then pause and see if you can get up further now in your bridge, wherever you feel is about full, and do a couple of tuck and tilts again. So depending on how high you've come up, you might not be able to tuck and tilt your pelvis quite so far. If you can't move it at all, just back down a little bit. Try and do one more movement of the pelvis and then pause. See now if you can get that a little bit higher, and keep breathing. We're nearly there. Is there a little bit higher? And a little bit higher. Cool, and then slowly trickle down your back, bone by bone. Slowly coming down. Very slowly coming down until you get to the end of the spine. Then just pause. Let the back sink, take the weight off the feet, and walk your legs out until you straighten your legs. So I don't have space, so I'm stretching them up over the couch. Arms over your head. Give your legs a jiggle. Well done. So you get a bit more warmth in the body now and waking up and around the hips. Let's come on up to kneeling. So you choose how you want to come up. You're going to roll on up. Come on to all fours. Hello again. Hands under your shoulders. Knees under your hips. And we're going with the cat and the cow pose. So chin to chest. Tail under. Open up between your shoulder blades. And roll through into the arch of the back. Off we go again. Exhale, coming under. Cool. So just coming back to the arch or the tuck and tilt of your pelvis again. We've done that in a few different positions now. Since you're kind of doing the same up around the shoulders and the head as well. But most important here is to feel the tuck and tilt of the pelvis to then be able to feel where is the middle. So you've got kind of a flat back. So you might need to feel like you're pulling in and up a little bit more around your waistband. Stay steady on both hands and try and, I need to go more on the side so I've got space. Try and stay in neutral spine here as you lift your right leg into the air. Good work, flex the foot. Okay, so if you feel you sort of dipped your back there, try and draw back in and stay quite steady again. And just hold the leg. If you can, the knee might be at hip height. And then see if you can lift the knee a little bit higher without arching the back and come in. So just focusing on lift and lower the leg a little while you try and hold the pelvis and the back in the same position. Good work. Also sense, and you might want to look down to see if you're leaning onto the left hip as you're lifting the right leg. Try and stay pretty centered. Good work. One more there. Cool. Now bring, with the neutral spine, the knee all the way back down towards the floor. And then take it all the way up again. And we'll do just 2 more of those. So leg down all the way. Try and keep the weight even in both hands up. Slowly back down. Good work. Last term up. Now we've just done those with the spine steady and the pelvis still. Now try and move them. So as you bring the knee down, move your head down, curl the spine, bring the knee underneath you if you can. And take the leg up. Let your back and your pelvis arch into a tilt. Good. 2 more coming under. Exhale. Just as far as you can. Staying really nice and controlled. Watch as your knee goes up on this last one. If it feels like it pokes out the side, try and pull it inwards a little bit. And then come back to the neutral. Push the hands into the floor. Bring the knee back into base. Scoot back to child's pose just for a moment. Bottom down, head down, turn the palms up and soften them. Whew. Okay, guess what? We have another leg to do. So come back to base, straight into neutral hold, and lift that other leg. Good work. Hold it, and then do that little lift and lower. Just while you're lifting the leg, all of that really conscious work around staying still around the middle and your hips. Spread through all of your fingers. Notice also if you're starting to sort of peel off that finger beside your thumb, try and really push the thumb and that first finger into the floor. Good, deep conscious breath. And we'll go into the slightly bigger movement. So still keep your pelvis still. Bring the knee back down to the floor. And lift it up. Good work. Just moving the leg, not the back and the pelvis here. So getting a really good sense of control around your middle. Cool, and last one. And now we bring in the movement of the pelvis and the spine. So the knee comes under, curl the tail down, pull the head down round the back. And as the knee goes up, roll the chest forward, tip the pelvis, arch the back. Good work, 2 more. And in. Hold it up for a moment. And as you go under, exhale, scooch the ear out. Good work. And instead of going back to child's pose this time, take that leg right back behind you. Pull the right knee underneath. And just pause, opening the hip a little bit. So if I go the other way around, you can probably see that better, huh? Good work. So just getting a bit of a stretch through that hip. See if it feels okay to come onto your fingertips and lift your chest a little. Press back through the back foot as you sink the hip down, nice and controlled. Okay, and we'll get to that other leg through plank pose. So bring the hands under the shoulders, hands down. Push into the floor as you lift the other knee off the floor. Go back into plank and hold for 2 breaths. When you've done your 2 breaths, you're going to bring the other knee underneath you. Now some of you might just get to here, that's okay. If you can, bring it a little further forward. Others might get the knee right in underneath you. So same as we did on the other side. Press back through that other leg and pause. Sinking the hips. Lift the chest. Maybe arch the back a little bit more as you keep pushing back through that leg. Just don't come too far forward with the knee. Especially don't do that if it's giving you any knee grief, yeah? Just adjust all the poses so they work for your body today. And if you're ever not sure what the adjustment might be, it's a bit hard to ask me mid-video, isn't it? So either make it to one of our classes or send me some messages afterwards. I can help you out. Alright, let's come back to plank one more time. So hands strong, belly strong. If you can, hover the knee up into the chest for a moment. See if you can round the back a little bit more. And then flattening the back as you stretch the leg back. Strong and plank. 3 breaths this time. Breathing in. And out. 2 more breaths. You can have your knees down if you need. After your final breath there, soften the knees, lift the hips, and press them back over your heels towards downward facing dog. Nice work. And then as you're ready, straightening the legs out. Just kind of play with your dog shape today. Lovely long arms, long legs, long spine, long, long, long. And then just feel where the hold and the down dog is about right for you today. And stay for about 3 breaths. Check in with the tension if there is any in through the back of the neck. Try and wriggle it out. Okay, when you're done with your 3, really slowly now, take about 20 baby little steps to walk your feet towards your hands. So they're kind of half tiny steps. Take your time, bend your knees as much as you need, trying to get your feet to find the insides of your hands. If you need to take your hands off the floor, that is cool. Roll down, and then we're going to very slowly roll on up to standing. Take about 20 little tiny movements of your spine as you push into the feet and roll yourself up to standing, head coming up last. I'm going to move back so you can fit into the screen. There we go. Good work, everyone. Standing into Tadasana. Spread your toes. Lift your arches. And then let your arms come down by your side. Awesome. Let's take a couple of good breaths in there. Inhale, arms coming over your head. Feel the length right through your body and melt your hands down, your arms down, back to base. Exhale 2 more times. And 1. And slowly come on down. Good work. Okay, so coming into Warrior 1, off you go if you know what you're doing. If you're not so sure, I'm just side on so you can see. Let's step back your left foot. So the right foot is forward, slightly bent. That left foot's on a little bit of an angle. And then just play with sinking the weight really strong into your front foot so you can feel the action right into your bottom. And just play with the position of the upper body. So you've got a little bit of strength work in your back holding you upright, but you're not getting any niggles in the back. If you can, anchor down through the outside of that foot. Okay, now that's giving you any balance issues, maybe step the back foot in a little bit closer, or just take a break when you need. Those of you who want more, bring your hands up to your shoulders, roll the shoulders back, good work, open the chest, and then see if you can reach the hands up to the ceiling. So if you want a little bit more here, this Warrior 1 pose, maybe lunging a bit more, but keep the weight in the back foot too, possibly looking up towards your hands, and maybe reaching the hands even further back. So long as you feel steady enough in both feet that you could hold this and try and stay for a couple of breaths. And while you're doing that, I'm magically going to change legs, but you stay on the same leg. Okay, nice one. Okay, so take your arms sideways now. Good work. So same leg position. We're going to twist the body towards that front leg. So a little bit of a twist in the Warrior 1 pose. Shoulders down, reach out through your hands. And see if you can hold that for a little bit. Make sure you can really still feel the weight in your front foot as much as you can in the back foot. Maybe sink the hips a little deeper. And then slowly come out of that twist. Good work. Let's go hands on the hips. Scoot your back foot in a little bit, about one step. And if you had a big turn of that foot, have a little bit less turn out now. So the feet are almost parallel. And you might need to step in even closer, see how you go. So I want you to lunge a bit more in the front leg, and then try and push the back hip forward till you get quite a good stretch there through the front of the hip. Let's play with that a bit more as you step back into the back foot, push into it, lift the ribs up, and then pull the ribs back. So hip forward, ribs back, lift the chest. So opposite arm from the back leg, up over your head. Just play with a bit of a stretch there, and then come down. Now try the same arm as the back leg, comes up over your head, and then stretch. Just watching if that's causing you balance to come off, or you're wobbling too much. Don't move so far, or shorten the distance between your feet. Good work. You might want to try a twist on this one, and then see what's best for you. I'm really getting into that. Reach over the side. Cool. Alright, bring your hands back to your hips. Step back into Tadasana. And pause. And just notice how one hip feels to the other. Maybe a difference in the sensation and size of your bottom. Take a big breath in, arms over your head. And as your hands come back, step your other leg back behind you. So we're doing warrior one on the other side. So back foot turned out a bit, front leg with a good lunge. Get into steadiness in your hips from the ground up. Lift the chest, hands to shoulders, roll the shoulders back. Good work, nice upright body. Please just keep adjusting if this pose isn't working for you today. Just find a way that it is working for you. It's not about whether you're doing a perfect pose or not, just find the way that allows you to approximate the shape and stay with this as works for you. Maybe arms over your head. Maybe arms back behind your ears. Sink the hips a little more. Just keep making suggestions. If you're already at your max, or you can't breathe so well, just back off. Some people might be able to lean back a bit and look towards the ceiling as the arms go even further back. Let's try one more good juicy breath in that position. Melt the arms down. If you came into a big arch, just bring your back more upright. Take the arms wide, and we'll try the twist here. So twisting towards that front bent leg. Arms stay parallel to the ground. Cool. It's wonder sometimes the angle I've got my camera on, if it becomes a bit of an optical illusion. I have to see what I'm doing. Palms, let's go with them. Flat, palm down towards the floor. Spread your fingers. Cool. Draw the belly button back in for a little bit more control through your middle. The hip of that front leg, just tuck it back in a little. Maybe you can lunge some more. And how's the breath going in this position? If you want a bit more challenge, try and look towards your back hand to finish it off. Slowly bring your hands back to your hips. Come back to the middle. Nice work. Step the back foot in. A good foot length. Re-parallel the feet a little bit more and then lunge into the front leg. So we're just making this adjustment here to be able to play with the hip. I'm going to go side on again. Stay where you were. Back hip pushes forward. Lift the ribs and draw the ribs back. So ribs back, hips forward. Really working into that stretch. Straight back leg, bent front leg. So similar to the warrior, we just change the foot position a little bit to really focus on this. And then go with the opposite arm, just testing out your balance and your body length. And then go for what gets us into more of the stretch with the same arm as the back leg. Lift the ribs up, pull them back, and add the little side bend. Can you see the big toe of your front foot still on the ground? And if you wanted a balance challenge, can you see your top hand over your head? Ooh. One more good breath there. Slowly let that go. Good work. Step into Tadasana. Nice work. Okay, just pause there steady as we take a couple of breaths. Jiggle your legs out as you need. 2 more breaths, and we're going to slowly make our way down towards the floor now. You come into a nice low lunge, sometimes called the lizard pose. So if you've got any knee issues as you're coming down, feel free to grab some more padding, especially underneath the back leg. Okay, so come down to your knees. Righty-ho, let's step your left leg forward, right leg back. Doesn't really matter so long as you do one leg and then the other. And with this one, if you can't reach the floor here, grab some books or be near a chair or something, or just stay up further. If you can, fingertips to the floor. Some of you might get your palms down. And if you would like with this one today, hands on the inside of that front leg. So if you want a little bit more, just keep scooting the back leg back. Scooting seems to be my word of choice today. Scoot or scooch. Sink the hips down. Okay, and then just sense how kind of are you positioned through the middle. I've got a little bit scrunched up. So I'm going to try and lengthen my ribs forward away from my hips. So the hands are still quite active on the floor here, helping me pull my body forward as I sink the back leg back and down. If you want to come down to your elbows, if your body likes or can do that, off you go. It might look something like this. But I'm not going to stay down there today because this is feeling just right. And those of you who would like a variation in this pose, you can attempt to find your back foot. So let's try first with the same hand as the back leg. So same hand as the front leg supports you. Bring the back foot off the ground and reach for it with the same hand, pulling the heel in towards your bottom, sinking the hip down. Ooh. Don't panic if you can't reach your foot. It's still there. Okay, gracefully release. And if you want to try with the other hand, swap hands, spin the body around over that leg, and then draw the leg in. Squaring the body to the front, lift your chest, sink the hips. Let's go, one more good breath there. Slowly release it. And we'll go to the other leg. Now you might just choose something like child's pose if you want a little bit more active at lunchtime. Scoot into plank pose. Oh, I did it again, scoot. Buoyant in the hips, strong through your waist. And as you're ready, stepping now your right leg forward if you had the left one forward before. Lower the back knee. There we go. Just take your time to come down here. Maybe you're still up. Maybe you need a shorter distance between the legs, just adjusting to where you can stay steady. And let your hips come a little bit closer towards the ground. Maybe hands on the inside of the leg. Maybe elbows to the floor, maybe not. Where is interesting enough to you today to get something out of this? Soften the breath. Noticing any difference one side to the other perhaps. Okay, so sensing how you did on the other side with that picking up the foot game. Here we go. So same arm as the front leg. So the hand and the toes and the foot push into the floor for steadiness. Reach that. Ooh. The foot's further away on this side. I got it though. Alright. Heel towards your bottom. Lengthen the front of the waist. And then try and gracefully let it go without a big ping. Yes, there's a little bit of tension there. Change sides. And pick it up with the other hand. Whoop. Here we go. Square off to the front. Tune into the beauty of your breath. Finish it off. Good work. See how slow motion you can let the foot go back to the floor. Hand comes back under your shoulder, and again plank pose, knees on the ground for transition. And we're going to slowly make our way all the way down to our belly. So come down through chaturanga, nice and slow and steady. Made it. Cool. Flatten out the feet. Lovely. And just pause here for a moment, maybe with your hands under your forehead, and just let your body adjust to being on the floor. The hips sink in there. Feet are about hip width apart. And if you feel a bit like how I cued when we did that hip stretch just now in the lizard, if you're quite short between your ribs and your hips, try and sort of wriggle yourself forward so there's more length in the front of the body, or reach the legs back. Okay, you're all stretched out across the front of the body. We're going to move into a version of the locust pose or shalabhasana. So first of all, keep your feet on the ground. See how you go lifting your knees off the ground. Push your hips down. Good whack. Okay, now try and float your feet off the floor. Good whack. Can you go a little bit higher? A little bit higher. I can see someone's tuned in again. The light's flashing on and off. Hello. And then slowly come down. Good whack. Okay, try that again. So lifting the legs. So we're doing a version of the locust pose. Working through the back of the body. Slowly come down. Now you can do that a couple more times for a variation today if you want. Take your little hands underneath the front of your hips and see how that feels as you lift the legs. You probably go a little bit higher. Just watch how that feels in your back, because you don't want to get a whole lot of tension across your back. Okay, if we go again. Lifting the legs, and see if you can hold on this one. So I was looking up so I could keep an eye on the screen, but just keep your head low to the floor there. Try and take one more good breath, reaching through your legs, and then slowly lower them. If you had your hands there, just extract them now. Sink your hips into the floor, hands come back around the front. Woo! Well done. Gentle little rock side to side of your hips. Fabulous. Well done. We are cruising towards the slow down. So we're going to have just a little mini relax here lying down. And then I'm going to sit back and lead you through Nadi Shodhana, the breathing exercise, to finish off. So we'll finish sitting today. So this is your lying position. If lying on your belly doesn't work for you, Advasana, try flipping over onto your back for Shavasana. Just let your body rest and settle after all that hard work. The more you get familiar with slipping into these kind of rest poses, often you find it becomes easier and easier to drop right into a deeper space. So let your hips really soften there. We're just taking this chill out time. About 3 more breaths there. See if you can really sense that nice calming effect of tuning into your exhale. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to come up now to a seated position for a pranayama exercise called Nadi Shodhana. If you want to finish your class with staying on the floor, you can just tune me out for the last couple of minutes, all right? So we've just got a few minutes here. Coming up into an active seated position, so nice long in the spine and open across your chest. Sit on as many cushions as you need to get your hips comfy. Good work. Melt and settle your shoulders in. Okay, now if you know any versions of Nadi Shodhana with whatever hand position you like to use, go for it. I'll call you through it nice and slowly first. So using your right hand, the thumb, block the right nostril, and then once we get going, fingers block the left. Alright, so just starting with your hand hovering ready to go, feeling the life in both nostrils at the moment, breath going in and out. And then I'll cue you through alternating nostrils, which is this breath flow called Nadi Shodhana. Okay, so breathe in through both nostrils together. Breathing out through both nostrils. And then closing your right nostril with the thumb. Breathing in 3, 2, 1. Change sides and breathe out through your right nostril. 3, 2, 1. And pause. Breathe in through the right. 3, 2, 1. Change sides again. Breathe out through your left. 3, 2, 1. That's one full round. Let's go again. Breathe in through the left. Breathing in. Change sides. Release the thumb. Breathe out right. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through the right. Change sides. Breathe out through the left. 3, 2, 1. Well done. I'll count you through again. Breathing in. Change sides. Breathing out. On that same side, breathe in through the right. Swap it over. Breathe out through the left. One more time with me. Breathing in. Change sides. Breathing out. Breathing in. Change again. Breathing out. And then see if you can do a couple of rounds on your own. Don't worry if you get lost, just try and come back to alternating the nostrils. Try and stay focused with it. So as you come to exhaling through your left nostril next time, make that the end and just let your hand slowly come back down and feel the breath back in through both nostrils. Just finish it off after that balancing breath. Just after that recalibrating, feel the breath in and out through both nostrils about 3 more times. Doesn't have to be super long, just feel it coming in and out. Beautiful, okay. We are coming right to the end of the session, everyone. So let's take a nice big breath in with the arms overhead. Your choice if you want your eyes open or closed. Feel your hands touch and then gently shift them in front of your heart space to finish off. Let your shoulders settle down. Just settle in here for a moment. Take a wee moment to give yourself a thank you for taking time out to practice your yoga. And just as you've turned that thanks inwards, turn a thankful thought, a moment of gratitude outwards, send it out into the world. And we'll leave it there. Hari Om Tat Sat. Look after yourselves as you do move out into the world. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.